but you feel better.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here at Gary Barnett Field, and we've had multiple technical difficulties. I am currently broadcasting over my cell phone, and at some point we're going to disconnect and get back over to the computer, which is how we run this Hawk Nation podcast. Anyway, good evening. Welcome again to South Harrison High School, Gary Barnett Field. The game is underway. 9:35 left in the first quarter. Try to catch you up real quick what you've missed so far. The Cougars of East Hardy won the coin toss and then tried South Harrison kicked an onside kick that went out of bounds, gave East Hardy tremendous field position, and nothing happening. They threw three passes, they did not attempt to run the football, threw three passes and turned the ball over on down. So here we are, first down and 15. South Harrison has the football, playing tonight without Landon McFadden, playing tonight without Brent Barnett, Jaron Robinson, and the list goes on. Radcliffe under center. They are literally just snapping the ball to Radcliffe, and he is just running forward. Here with me tonight, as always, Danny Knight. Danny, technical difficulties, a muddy evening, and a lot of Hawk injuries.
It's a weird night all the way around. It's not Halloween yet, but it kind of feels like that kind of situation. So much to say. The field is a muddy mess. I think that is relevant. Surprisingly, East Hardy came out and threw the ball, like you said, 3 times on the first possession. It's just not, conditions aren't suitable to that. But it was a 3 and out, and then the Hawks have got a first down here, and they're moving a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how this game develops.
Out of shotgun, second down and about 13. Snap comes back. It's going to be a handoff to Jacob Haddix, number 32. He may get back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. Ball right in the middle of the field, which is where the field conditions are at its worst. Really sloppy, really muddy.
Field conditions are going to be a factor all night. That's why I think the teams are just going to have to run the ball, and whoever can control the line of scrimmage. You mentioned before that they were just snapping it to Radcliffe and letting him run up the field. I mean, it's basically like a quarterback sneak or even a wedge play. And he did have, on the initial first down, he ran about 8 or 9 yards to get the first down. So we'll see if they can continue to move it. It's 3rd and long now.
3rd down, 13, no gain on the last play. I formation, 2 receivers, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Hands it off to Daughtry. Daughtry trying to find some room to get up the field. He does not. He's going to lose a couple on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down and about 15. So Danny, I don't know about you, but I kind of expect this game to be just a sloppy, and I'm going to call it, because it's kind of what I think, a low-scoring game, and whoever makes a mistake or whoever makes the worst mistake may lose this football game.
Probably will come down to some kind of crazy turnover or crazy play because the ball is going to be slippery all night.
Colombo awaiting the snap for the punt. He punts it up. It's a low, short punt, takes a hop at the South Harrison 39, rolls back to the 38, and that's where East Hardy is going to start this drive. And, Danny, that may be the mistake that I was talking about.
Could be. I mean, it's just really tough. I think that any special teams plays are going to be an adventure especially on a punt, when you've got to snap it back that far. It's hard to make the snap, it's hard to catch it, and then it's hard to punt. So he really was deep in the backfield, and I didn't know how that was going to develop, but there was enough blocking that he did get a pretty positive gain there on first down.
2nd down and about 6. Ball right around the 35, maybe the 34 of South Harrison. Snap comes back. Handoff straight up the middle. Kirkpatrick wraps him up, but not before he gets to about the 30-yard line. And this is going to bring up 3rd down and short. And, Danny, it does appear that, or at least it looks like, East Hardy's finding something that's working for them. They've got 3rd down and 1 deep in South Harrison territory.
And just running the football, and that's what they're going to have to. I think both teams are going to have to. And so it will just come down to which team has the better line. And, of course, the wild card is turnovers because of the sloppy conditions.
Snap back, quarterback keeper, straight up the middle. He's got a first down, and he gets down inside the 25-yard line, tackled there by number 11, Nathan Radcliffe. When we talk about the losses for the Hawks as far as their personnel, We often think of offense, but Danny, on the defensive end as well, it's a nightmare for the Hawks right now.
Well, the big three they lost on offense are also a big three on defense. And, when you think it's easy to focus on the offensive contributions of those guys, but, man, they made a big difference on defense too.
Quarterback keeps it, turns the corner, and gets into the end zone. And there you have it. Everything I said probably out the window. East Hardy punches it into the end zone, takes a 6-0 lead over the Hawks.
They snapped it to the quarterback. He basically went off tackle, was very well blocked, and he kind of popped to the outside. The downfield blocking was excellent because that's what allowed him to get on into the end zone. So, yeah, I mean, they tried to throw it on that first drive, and it didn't work, but they figured it out, and they came out in the second drive, and they controlled the line of scrimmage and moved it right down the field for the touchdown.
Awaiting the extra point attempt. Snap comes back, it's put down. Holt, kick is up and through. So the score here, 7-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize. Somewhere along the way, at least we hope so, we're going to be able to go off the air temporarily and come back on with a proper setup. Right now, we're passing a cell phone back and forth. And, technology is amazing, Danny, but sometimes when it doesn't work, it can be awful frustrating.
It's great. It's super convenient to have the technology, but we rely so heavy on it. When it doesn't work, it just kind of shuts you down. I remember, it's been probably a couple years ago, I went to get my oil changed, and their internet was down. They couldn't even change my oil because the internet was down, just because, not that they couldn't physically change it, but, they couldn't bill me. They couldn't do all that stuff. And so, I had to wait for another day because of that. So just our whole world is so reliant upon the internet and computers, and of course in this situation obviously that's going to be the case. But
7-0 is the score here. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Hawks going to receive the kickoff here. Back deep for the Hawks is number 32, Jacob Haddix. And looks like number 35, which would be Parker Bunch. Kick is up. Short kick takes a hop around the 29-yard line. Picked up there by number 11, Nathan Radcliffe, who runs ahead to about the 34, and that's where the Hawks will start this drive. And Danny, you would have to think that they're going to need to do more than run it straight up the middle. And as I say that, I look down there, number 73, Kirkpatrick, appears to be injured now as well.
He's on the ground, not sure exactly what is his ailment here, but the coaches and the training staff's out there to try to help him. But they're going to have to try to mix it up offensively. I just think it's difficult to be too diverse in these field conditions. If you're going to throw it at all or do any of that, it's probably going to have to happen here early in the game because, as I said, the field conditions are going to deteriorate. As the kids get tackled, they're going to get muddier. Their arms are going to get muddy. The ball is going to get worse, and it's just going to be a mess. So, yeah, they do need to maybe change it up a little bit. It's just hard. It's hard to do much different things. So that's why it's such a basic football game tonight where whichever offensive line can create the holes for the backs, that's the team that's going to win.
You played football. Did you enjoy playing in these type of conditions?
Absolutely not. No, I didn't. No, I played quarterback. So, now if I would have been a lineman if I would have been like a tough football player, maybe. But at quarterbacks, we don't want that stuff. We like nice conditions. And
I wonder if this would be appropriate conditions for the hog pen.
This would be perfect for the hog pen. There's no doubt. Get a bunch of hogs out in that stuff. They'll squeal. First
and 10. It's a handoff to Daughtry. He looked like he bobbled it on the exchange there with Nathan Radcliffe. He's going to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. No significant gain there. We are having some progress with our technology here as things seem to be loading up a little better. As mentioned, we're currently broadcasting over the cell phone. And somewhere along the way, and Danny, I think maybe we'll just try to get through the first quarter this way, and then we'll switch it over. Right now you're listening on Spreaker South Harrison versus East Hardy Part 1. We'll switch it over and call it Part 2 as soon as we can. We'll let you know. Second down, 5 receivers, 4 to his right, 1 to his left. It's a quick pass out. It's caught. Maybe a gain of 2. I'm trying to see who the receiver is there for the Hawks, but nothing significant. That looks like Jacob Haddix, but nothing really significant there, Danny.
Well, they had, was it four or 5 receivers? I think 4 to the right. They threw a quick screen to him, which, I mean, if you're going to throw it, that's what you'd have to do. They did that hoping to get 3 blockers out ahead, but the other 3 receivers really didn't block anybody. That's what happened. That was the breakdown on that play. Had they blocked, I think the play could have made some yardage, but no blocks really made. They all missed, and so minimal gain.
1 yard to be exact. Third down and 9. 4 receivers, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. Looks like Pumphrey in the backfield. It's a quick pass to Haddix. He catches it right around the 40, then pushed back. I'm assuming that's where the ball will be. So that's going to bring up 4th down and about it'll be a long 3. Regardless, you're expecting a punt here, right?
I would think so. Yeah, and here comes Colombo now. Just that last play was somewhat of a little quick slant pattern. I thought Haddix did a really nice. The ball was thrown accurately, but it's just difficult to catch it. I thought he did a really nice job to catch it. That play may have worked better on like 1st or 2nd down. What could have got you ahead of the chains.
Colombo on to punt it away for the Hawks. It's a high snap. He has to go get it. He barely gets it away. Another short punt. Takes a South Harrison roll, a significant South Harrison roll. Out, yes, he did. Enough for a 1st down. So East Hardy finding a way to move the chains.
They are. They're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and they're doing a good job of blocking downfield. There was another example on that play. Just a quarterback sweep. Listen, it's nothing complicated. They've got blockers out in front of him, and he's just running around the end. But those kids, those other backs are blocking really well down the field, and it's causing him to be able to get positive gains. I mean, that was a 1st down run about 10 or 12 yards.
I think there's an issue with the clock. They're correcting that. Handoff to the running back as he's able to turn the corner, gain about 5 or 6 yards there.
Shotgun snap and just handed it right to the back, and he just got to the outside on the left, 5-yard gain. It's interesting, both teams still in the shotgun because that could be a little bit difficult with the muddy football, but it's working so far.
4 receivers, fakes the handoff to the running back. Quarterback keeps it. A flag is thrown in the backfield. We're going to hope it's a holding call because he's going to go all the way into the end zone for a Cougar touchdown, but I think it's coming back.
I would say so. The way that they're looking, there's the call. It is holding, thankfully for the Hawks. But there was a hole. He got through it and then bounced it to the outside, and he was gone. I mean, their quarterback is a good runner. He seems to have really nice balance even with the slippery conditions. But thankfully there was a hold. The official saw it and comes all the way back.
2:09 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 is the score. At the end of the first quarter, we're going to temporarily go off the air. Stay right there on that Spreaker app and pay attention because what we'll do is we'll come right back. Part 2 is how it'll be labeled South Harrison versus East Hardy Part 2. It'll have a red live tag beside it. You'll want to click on that. And again, before we make that switch, we will definitely let you know. Just some technological issues beyond our control here, and we're hoping that they are resolved. Again, broadcasting currently from our cell phone, passing it back and forth, doing the best we can. Looks like some different personnel in there now. Number 11 in to play quarterback. Snap comes back, hands it off. The running back slips and just makes a second effort, enough to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And once again, that just points to the poor conditions on the field.
Yeah, because it looked like to me there was going to be room for him to run. Thankfully, the ground mate was muddy enough to make the stop for the Hawks. It brings up 3rd and long. It will be interesting to find out here in a minute whether they'll try to throw the ball because it's 3rd and 15. Will they take the chance here and try to pass it?
3rd down and 15 is correct. It will be a long pass. A flag is thrown. The pass is caught and into South Harrison territory as Parker Bunch is able to wrap him up and drag him down. Be interesting to see what the call is here.
I'm going to guess it might have been some movement by the receiver spread out to the right. No, it's a holding call again on East Hardy. Wow, penalties hurting them bad because that was a long play and a 1st down. It's going to come back.
Two holding calls have backed them up a long ways, and the Hawks are the benefactors of this. I'm going to tell you something, Danny. I said just a little bit ago that I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game and come down to whoever made some mistakes. I'm not so sure that's going to be true, but East Hardy's making plenty of mistakes at this point.
They certainly are because they would have another touchdown had they not gotten the hold. Of course, maybe it was the hold that sprung them for the touchdown. It's hard to say. On that last play, the quarterback did a good job to kind of get out of the pocket, and then he threw it up. Really, I don't know that the receiver was open. I'm going to say it like this. The receiver made a nice adjustment to catch the ball. Other people, probably Hawk fans, would say he pushed off as part of his adjustment. The officials didn't think so. So it could have been offensive pass interference, but they didn't call it.
It's going to be a pass. Kirkpatrick, who's back in the game after an injury, chasing him around. And then he meets number 25, Seth Pumphrey, who gets in on the action here. Under a minute to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were trying to throw it deep down the field there. Obviously, it was 3rd and 25 or whatever. The quarterback decided pretty quickly that nobody was open and tried to run it, but Pumphrey pretty much picked him up and slammed him to the ground.
The punt takes a hop of South Harrison's, takes a South Harrison hop. It hits right near midfield and then goes back towards the East Hardy end zone to the 45, and that's where the Hawks will start. So there's a couple things I'd like to point out, Danny. This side of the football field appears to be in better condition as far as field conditions, and that might be a good thing for the Hawks.
I was going to say the exact same thing. First of all, they have field position in the other team's territory, but this is definitely the best portion of the field, at least for the moment. They haven't done much on this side, but I tell you what, as we are saying that, the rain starts to just pour it down right now.
5 receivers, 4 to his left, 1 to his right. Snap back to Radcliffe. It's another screen. It's intercepted, and it's going to be a pick 6 as East Hardy is going to be able to get into the end zone without much hassle.
The defender just read that perfectly, and I mean it was just a quick screen, but because he read it, he just got right up in the lane and intercepted it. If he wouldn't have, I think it was actually going to maybe even be a backward pass. So a lot of bad things could have happened there, but they all result. The worst thing happened, and that was a touchdown for East Hardy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to disconnect from this device and try to get over to our normal broadcast setup. You'll want to look for, on Spreaker, you'll want to look for South Harrison versus East Hardy, Part 2. The extra point attempt is up and through. The score here now, 14-0 with 2 seconds left. So we're going to take the moment here, break away. You'll want to click on South Harrison versus East Hardy, Part 2. Stay tuned.